Oh crap, I hit record. But so to me, it's
classy.
what's good? You're listening to Culture Quest, where we ask the question, why are we like this? On this podcast, we explore culture, but culture that's specific to us as Bahamian people, us as Black people, us as Caribbean people, and all that, right? So I'm MCK, and I'm here with the homie from Time, Jay, and the homie Proof is here as well, and we're going to talk all things us today. As always, shout out to the Solid Network. So, yeah, what's good, boys?
Hey, Chad, but you can't
Yo.
complain, man.
So good.
All is well?
Who we sponsored by today?
Good.
So, yeah.
Who we sponsored by today?
Well, I'm glad you asked. We get into that. So, first of all, we like to start the episode with some show and prove. So before we get into that, some quick show and prove. We like to pull the card. Make sure you know what you're talking about. We can't be out here called Culture Quest and we don't even know what's going on in the culture.
Baking.
You know what I'm saying? So I can let Proof kick it off this time. Hit us with your culture card.
All right. So my stats, right?
He got to be
To
running
prove
out.
that I
He got to be running out.
to prove that I am legit 100% Bahamian. When I give directions, it's like a riddle. Example. So you can go down the road, right? Past the big tree. You can make a right at Miss Lorna house. And if you get to the corner where that little dog barking just a little bit too much, you're going too far. And I bet you, whoever I give that direction to, know exactly what I'm talking about.
First of all, you can't be giving away people's address.
I just gonna say I know exactly what it is.
Exactly. Exactly.
No, yeah, that's the way you give direction in the culture. What is off the street? We don't know nothing. I need to know how big the tree was.
Don't give me no
Like
street
all that.
names, bro. What that is?
Yeah,
Northwest. Let
I
somebody
need a
else
landmark.
travel northwest.
bro. I remember. I always tell this story, but I was working for somebody one time, and they was giving me directions to go like as a courier downtown to pick up something. But the area was specific, right? So there's like, oh, you know where the old post office used to be back in 72? I was like, nigga, no, I'm 21. Like, I don't know where that used to be. And then, but at first he was like, okay, so you said northeast down to the eastern side of, like, nigga, bro, how close this is to Bamboo Shop? That's what I need to know. Like, how close this is, you know what I mean? But yeah, that's the way we give our direction.
Real. The nearest landmark, the nearest liquor store, or the nearest church. You can find it.
Fox.
For real.
Big Fox.
So
Alright.
Jay, you kick us off with your card.
Me? My Bahamian proof card is the fact that you know you Bahamian when you get marked the tree. So I get marked the tree like the try help it with my asthma. Apparently, you gotta get marked.
Apparently, you got a what?
Apparently, you gotta get marked like a specific tree. I don't know, because usually they say when you get marked the tree that is help like do away with your asthma. Yeah, that ain't work.
Ain't work.
Well, that sounds like some
Sounds about right.
old bear if I never heard. I would love to know the origins, like the backstory there.
I don't know where it come from, but they say you get once you mark them to a tree, that is help with your asthma, man.
It helped?
Not at all.
Anyway.
That's a hard note.
I don't know.
Yeah. All right, so put my card real quick. You know, I've been around for quite a while, like getting there and age. So I've seen a lot of storms. So I slept through at least 5 different hurricanes in my day. Luckily, none of these was like too serious, you know. Thank God. But I sleep through like 5 hurricanes.
The whole
I'd say like 80% of the storm, which I would consider, you know, that's sleeping through the storm. So I remember when like Americans would hear about, you know, the storm coming and they would be panicking and they'd be like, well, we always want the power to stay on. I don't know how we expect that to happen, but like, I hope you don't turn this power off. So you just anticipating the power being off. But yeah, I've been through quite a bit of hurricanes when you think about it. From 96. But yeah,
And slept through them.
slept through them. Sometimes you leave one little window, like not all the way bottom up, and that breed is sweet. But thank God it was sweet. It could be devastating, but thank God in those cases it was all good. So yeah, today's episode is brought to you by CYC Bahamas, the official disrespect ambassador of the Bahamas. Today we're talking about this one is called the one about your mom. So obviously we're not literally talking about your mommy.
No offense to any mothers that listened to this episode.
Mother's Day was just the other day, but we really talking about disrespect. Like, what do we consider disrespect as a culture, as a people? I think every culture has their own idiosyncrasies and like different ways of seeing things that show respect and things that show disrespect. And so today we're gonna explore what we consider disrespectful, and there's definitely a list. We can get into that.
For sure.
Yeah, this may or may not be something unique to us. I don't think it's unique to us, but we're gonna dig into that today on the one boat, your mom.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think for me, like your mom is like the holy grail of disses, especially as a kid back in the day.
Yeah, for sure.
There was one that was another holy grail. We could get into that. That's super problematic. But you pull out your mouth out the bag, you really come to kill. Y'all
gotta get prepared. You gotta be prepared to throw hands after that.
Fox, I got my head bucked for saying your mouth one time.
Gotta be prepared to throw hands or catch hands, one of the two.
Exactly.
Listen to me. I must he was 4'9", and that's all. That's the only disrespectful card I had left, man.
Exactly.
That's what he had left.
Boy. That's like playing Trump.
Your mom, man.
You reach deep in your mom bag.
And sure enough.
You know what's crazy is now that you say that, I've been in a lot of fights in my life, but the few fights I've been in, that your mom was somewhere in there. Like I remember one time
for sure.
He just say something to me, man. And he was like, "But you like mine, right?" That's another one, right? But he's like, "You like mine," and I was like, "But your mother like mine."
Mind you,
hey. You think he say, "Of course, no." Like you think he said that, or you think this nigga grip me up?
In all fairness, but that was like automatic, way.
It was just like
that was automatic. It was like innate. You know what I mean? Yeah. On the tongue, you just ready to fire off. You know what I mean?
I didn't even realize how stupid it was, and that literally not even like days after the fight. I was like, hold on. Yeah.
You ever tell your siblings like your mom?
Oh yeah.
Of course.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Sorry. I just remember the story, man. Shout out to Collage, but let me show you where your mom gone wrong. So if you all ain't familiar with the Collage and the famous skits they used to do, it was one skit where your boy was selling canal. And he was there like, honey of the shell, man, honey of the shell. And when somebody buy it, he said, go to your bar for sweet canal. So I see the boy in the bike one day, right? And I was like, he was waiting on the line. And I said, like, go to your mom for fast service. He pointed me right there, like, bro, like, who am I gonna be do? And I was like, oh, sorry, mom. I apologize. We coming right now.
What a freeze.
Yeah, all in all, I'm glad that your mom didn't go so.
But that could have gone a different way.
That mom was literally right there with it.
Quick.
Well, your time, I mean, your comedic diamond, just you have to write a book, bro. Horrible, we gotta tell us the Gucci Mongula story one day, but because your timing is impeccable. But yeah, the Yamaha is, I think, top 5 disrespectful things you could say to him, and now without cussing, without disrespectful terms familiar to y'all.
I mean, you kind of started with the CYC. That's like nowadays, that's the ultimate disrespect. I feel like that probably on par, if not top, Yamaha.
Yeah. Yamaha is like a subtle, like, I can say this to you. I don't even really care if you get offended. It's more for me. The Yamaha more for me. Like, the Yamaha, like, it ain't really to offend you per se. It just like, like piss off. But the CYC, not for you. Not for you to feel.
Not for you.
I'm mad.
I want you to feel that one.
Yeah.
For
Bro,
real, for real.
and then the thing about it is that like it is come with so much like ferocity and like anger.
It's like when you say that you speaking on behalf of your ancestors, bro. That coming from an ancestral place. When we tell you
like, I feel like
bro,
Lyndon Binley, they're just like, yeah, okay. I see
all that goatskin drunk beating up in the
you
back.
Get the nod of approval.
Yeah.
I love it too because obviously it's like a culture, right? So like when it applied to somebody outside the culture, they confused, but they almost like they know they should be offended.
Yeah,
right.
You know what I mean?
I don't know why I offended. That hurt me. I ain't sure why I hurt, but it hurt. You know,
I don't know what that means, but I know it ain't.
Yeah, I know it ain't nice.
Yeah,
I know it ain't nice.
So I definitely think that up there now. I might even argue that that might surpass your mom now. You're telling someone to go ahead and carry themselves like that, like that's that might surpass your mom. But your mom is an all time great.
Definitely up there.
And plus, when you look at it, your mom could be used anywhere. See why I see like I feel like you either got to get to a certain level of anger, and plus you got to be at a certain place. So you can't just see why I see any and every place. Like you can't be around your Grammy or your actual mom and be like see why I see. So it's you have to have a level of decorum with CYC.
Yeah. The thing about CYC though, you make a good point because if you bring it up, let's say you bring it up in the bank or in a corporate setting, it's almost like damn, like you really crash out, like you going all the way.
That's the ultimate offense.
You go on past, don't play with me, don't make me cuss. Carry you all the way to CYC, like that's That's a serious one.
At that point, it's still like, whoa, buddy.
Yeah,
like bump the
brakes. Ain't no coming back. If you, I say, if you pull that thing, you better bust it. Like if you go all the way to CYC in a corporate setting or to like that great Annie or that Annie Olga or whatever, that's ain't no coming back. Hey, relationships gonna change after that.
Nah, real.
Hey, shout out to Annie Olga. He ain't referring to you.
Yeah,
you mean that? Yeah, I got a real Annie Olga. He mean you, Annie.
Everybody have an Annie Olga.
Everybody have an Olga.
That's one of them things. Like everybody have an Annie Olga. Everybody had an uncle who was on crack at some point. I mean, it just one of them things. We can talk about that on a different episode. Wow. But yeah, the Yamaha, obviously there's a stop like in mine. I will say the stop like in mine has become diluted. And I also want to make a case, right? People who not of the culture might have stop like in mine and think, you know, oh my goodness, that's homophobic. Yeah. It's not homophobic. It's not saying, you know, don't be gay. That's not what we're saying. We don't care if you're gay. But don't like mine. Like you're the wise man said that one was before. You can be gay, but don't like mine. Like your mine is more of a like you being a pest. You being it depends on the context, obviously, but you know, you won't be in your best self. Stop like mine. Stop following after dudes. Stop. It really depends on the context, but it at the very least, it does not mean stop being gay. And I think that's what makes it so good. Like it doesn't stop like mine, but don't have nothing to do with with that. Right. That's what makes it funny.
Now, a good segue, speaking about not putting your best foot forward, and also another potentially disrespectful term, use a conk.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. That's a new one.
I feel like use a conk just come around like in the 2010s or so. Like that just really pick up. Like earlier before, it wasn't as popular as it is now. But now everything is all you
use it now. Somebody gonna look at you sideways. That's for sure.
Or they conking you, or you take me for a conk and all that.
Right.
Yeah, I will say, I think it's definitely probably one of the more relevant ones, but it don't have the sting of other ones, right? Like if someone say use a conk, I feel like it really depends on the. Yeah, it's like you know, your mother's a conk, right? Like it's easy to kind of like, I like your mother's a conk, gotta slap, but. Hey, or like you put if you really creative, your mother's a conk for having you, but you know what I mean? Like you get sort of thought it off pretty easily. And then people also is like self-deprecate with it, like, wait, as a conk, right? It don't have that sting. Like we say, like the CYC. but it definitely in there, I would say.
I mean, but when you start hitting them with the combos, though, your mother is a comp, your ma is a comp.
Yeah,
like you say, that's slap. That's a combo.
There's a lot of variables too, right? There's play with your ma. Telling someone to play with their ma. I always like when you take it literal, it's mad funny, right? You can imagine someone going like shooting dice at their mommy. It's funny as hell that there's someone to play with their ma or play with your pa. Or there's obviously play with your ma when your pa ain't home.
Play with your pa never really hit like that. I don't know why.
No, because you know.
Like, you know. That's one other episode.
Happy Mother's Day, y'all.
Yeah.
But play with your pa don't really hit because it's like, yeah, I already rate that nigga. But play with your mom, you can't come with someone. I come out that, bro. I come out of my mother's womb. How you can tell me play with my mom, right?
Yeah, it's my disrespectful.
Obviously, that's your Grammy. Like play with your Grammy. Like, hold on now. You can actually get touched for that.
And the problem is, and I feel like this used to reach like critical disrespectful levels because most people Grammy and pass away now. If they Grammy and pass away, they Grammy like right there at the door waiting for the elevator to come up. So it's like if someone say you're Grammy, nah, bro, like we gotta scrap now because I remember the funeral. I remember the funeral. And 2-1, if don't let you have to go onto the island for the funeral.
Oh,
they're like,
no. That's one of them. That's one of them wounds that never really healed. So when you pouring salt and that, you bound to catch a hand.
Yeah.
All wrong.
Grammy's the only one who used to take up the food for me and ask me if I eat the dick. But you trying to get punching them up. So yeah, the Grammy one is definitely high on that disrespectful list. But I would say, that's a variation of play with your mom. You can switch it up. Sure. Yeah, there's the stop like in mine. Like I said, I think at least in our era, that was just always on the back, on the back pocket. Like you always had that sort of trigger ready to go. They stop like in mine. Someone doing too much, stop like in mine. But we're talking about disrespect now, right? What was the most disrespectful thing? Let's keep it what someone could say to you. We're gonna go into like that someone could do, but I think there's one, and this one is loaded, and it's problematic. But I know for me, and I don't think that's a unique experience. When I was a kid, in primary school particularly, if someone really getting on your nerves and like you about to lose a battle. You was pulling that ethnicity out, right? Just about to pull that Asian stuff. Right?
Oh, man.
Which is super cringy when I look back at it. Because it's like, that's like saying, okay, you're German stuff, okay, American stuff. But it comes with such a loaded thing. I mean, if you call someone a Haitian, when I was a kid, it was like, bro, I don't know Haitian. And the irony is sometimes there was Haitian, bro. Sometimes there was Haitian. It was like, I don't know Haitian. And obviously, like that's a whole different conversation about how we see Asians, how Haitians have internalized that stuff, Bahamian Nations and stuff like that, internalized that stuff for themselves. But also, it was like, right or wrong, that might have been more scathing than your mom, eh?
In a certain way. In a certain way, I feel like now for sure, okay, Haitian self or use Haitian, they used to sting like that. But I feel like as we grew. And we realized like what xenophobia is, the fact that most of our friends or what's not were of Haitian descent. We get to the point where it's like it didn't make sense to be an insult no more, Like as you get more educated, then you realize that
oh yeah, for sure. It's just like
not really an insult.
Get your blacks out, right? That's another one. If you're particularly a dark skin person, I sure proof get the death of this.
I just go to think. I know why your boy called me out like that, right? But I'm glad you say that because it was my disrespectful growing up as a kid, right? Dudes them used to give you nicknames based on how you look, but so if you was darker than everybody else, you bet for sure they was calling you Blocky.
I'll get it,
bro.
I'll get it.
Wait. Y'all was out there calling niggas Guinness?
What you mean?
You look like Tar, boy.
Tar baby.
Tar baby.
Right.
Internalized racism for sure.
Wow, that's crazy. I definitely know Batuta Baby is. She wasn't even ugly. She was black.
Right, but like you say, that's obviously is an immature thing, right? But in our culture, if you dark skin, I looking at you up and down. I get this break, I get them with the 1-2 combo. Yeah, I'm a black person, but I using that as a diss, right? What does that say about how I see myself? Right?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's it's interesting. But to bring it back to like the nickname thing, I watch people accept nicknames that I would never in my entire life accept. I go in the hell. I take it to the hell with me before I accept. Bro, I can't even repeat some of them nicknames, bro. Like literally, like should I say it? Do it. There's one boy.
Wait. We have the bleep function.
I don't know. We have the bleep. There's one boy. They used to call his head was long. Right? He had a longer shaped head. And they used to call him head. And it wasn't like a diss. That became dude's street name. So it was going on head. That ain't man. And like there's no scenario where niggas calling me that affectionately called.
Like
no, bro.
In high school, there's one dude in my class, no lie. I gonna shout him out just now. I can call your name, bro. But my respect for you still, right? Dude had a big head, like literally, it was like unproportionately large for the size of his frame, right? And his nickname was literally Heads, boy.
Yeah.
And he would answer to it, but that's the crazy part.
That was the nickname, bro.
It's just
it wasn't even like they dissing him. It was his name, bro. If you let's do an exercise. You in high school right now. You from the States. What's your nickname, man?
American.
You have big ears. What's your nickname?
Yeah, hold on. Let's see about me.
No, I just said like. What's your nickname?
First of all, I never let a Heads name stick. So no, I'd be Heads. Eyes closed now, so you got to be Sleepy.
Either Sleepy or Smoky, but I don't smoke, so Sleepy.
Then we got both. We got Rasta. We got Rasta right there.
You 6'3", would you? You 6'3", 6'4", what's your name?
Tall
boy, right? So that's just how it goes. It wasn't even creative. If you was little high color, you was either yellow or reds.
That's true. Reds.
True.
Is either yellow or red.
Check this out. Even on a more disrespectful tip, right? I mean, there was this old Calypso Caribbean song back in the day called Mama Look a Boo Boo, right? This is about this lady who had a son who was extremely ugly, right? So she gave him the name Boo Boo, right? Because of how ugly he was, right? They made a song about it.
Yeah.
There was this dude back in high school who his grandmother also gave him that nickname Boo Boo based on that song. Dude was straight up a creature. No offense, bro. No offense, bro.
He was one of God's creatures, but a creature nonetheless.
Honestly, let me tell you how crazy it was. I knew him affectionately I didn't even know this dude's real name, and we going through the whole high school together. I literally knew this dude as Boo Boo. Never knew his real name. And then it wasn't until after high school that I realized the origin of the name. And I'm like, bro mommy was.
So you had a song who was like,
your mommy give you that name, bro? That's the ultimate disrespect. Ain't like one of your school friends give you that name, because it would have been all right. You expected disrespect from school kids, but your mother, my goodness, horrible, bro.
Yeah, that's ultimate a different type of ugly. That's a different type of ugly, bro.
Y'all go check it out. Mama Look a Boo Boo. Y'all go check it out.
So if you was to see him right now, you say you don't know his real name. How would you?
I call him Boo Boo, but like, what's good, bro? Top him up, you know.
So he fight you now. You ready for that? Because I imagine he probably done do therapy sessions.
You've been answering the Boo Boo all your life, bro.
Hey, people can change.
What you mean?
But there's some type of dance. I changed my identity. I'm Thurgood now.
Yeah, no, but I legit that see like certain niggas change their whole identity and don't go to like certain nicknames no more. Like Henfield. Henfield don't go by Henfield no more. Like Lil Henny.
They use Hen, babe. Shout out Hen. Hey, We gotta get it. That brings us to the next section, right? Of disrespect. Bahamians do not care about your own opinion of yourself. Everybody stop calling me hen, but I don't really like that. Yeah, but hen, we can link up. Like, you know what I mean?
In the same breath.
Like, it's like we would literally be like, "But what you running on with?" But use hen, but like we don't really to use that term hold space for like, you know. I've had like people tell me, I've heard people talk about their own trauma, right? To then be met with, you like ma, or like what you running on with? Like this person that's finna spilling
what you running on with?
All their feelings,
and it's like, but what you even on right now? You know, so I would put that on the list. I think we could be pretty dismissive as a people. What do you think about that?
Yeah, that's disrespect in and of itself, but that's just my disrespectful.
So I went through like a little switch in it. The conversation was not. What are like some actions would Bahamians feel like disrespectful? I know
you walk in a room and don't speak.
That's fact.
Top of the list.
If you let somebody out the corner and they don't blow their horn,
but there's
a lot of variations of that.
I ready to cut you off in traffic, but like no lie.
That's a lot of disrespectful. Let me see what else.
We'll see Rasta pull up next to y'all.
Cut you off, boy.
Let me see what else disrespectful. I'm trying to think now. I feel like not putting the foil back on the food, like when it wrap up. That wasn't disrespectful, but that definitely was no manners.
You don't got no brought up. See.
Yeah, don't let you correct your. If you correct your parents or say your parents wrong, that's disrespectful.
Bro, any form of answering back was disrespectful, even if you was right.
It's crazy.
Any form of back talk.
Bro.
You in the proximity of your parents talking, right? And you hear something interesting. And you just want to inquire about how dare you be interested in this conversation and you aren't old enough.
Yep.
Children should be seen,
not heard.
And not heard. Wait,
I remember growing up.
So go ahead, bro.
Growing up with my grandparents, but when they had a company over, I had to leave the room, but what me, little child, doing in an audience of adults? But you better excuse yourself.
Excuse yourself. Like if I had to tell you go, is a problem.
Why you there?
Right. If I had to tell you to go, is a problem.
So I think one time I had to get called no manners because I get beaten and it didn't hurt.
He's supposed to fake a cry with you.
And it was like that's you just disrespectful. Like how I try to punish you and it don't hurt.
He's wrong with you? Fake a cry with.
Nah, bro.
Oh, here's another one. Mm-hmm. If I sneeze and y'all ain't say bless you.
Oh, really? Bless that's me too.
That's just nobody. So that I never happen to none of y'all. If I sneeze out in the public and ain't nobody say, bless me too.
I never think that Johnson will bless somebody.
Wow.
We was raised.
Automatically.
That blessings come before the sneeze even finish good.
Yeah, our mummies love us, so we have some brought up too. But you know it's crazy too. Not telling the truth, telling an inconvenient truth is disrespect, right? So I remember one time I get my head slapped off for telling one of my cousins their mommy and daddy was divorced. And I was so confused, bro. But it's like, how dare you tell this person something truthful that inconvenient? You know what I mean? It's like that's rude. Like that's rude. I could tell them that, but this way, I mean, it was just a fact for me. It was like I was confused. I was like, oh, so they about to get
like what happened? I thought they broke up.
Like, oops.
Did they work it out? Or I was confused, but like you learn.
The reason you get slapped was because it wasn't your place to say.
You too
not because it was place, true. For sure.
You was too fast.
Yeah, right. Too forward.
That's what it was.
Yeah. Being forward, that on my list. So thanks, Jake. Yeah. So familiarity is disrespectful to Bahamians, right? Like there's some dudes right now. Like I say, let's say we shout out hand, right? Shout out hand on the pod. Yeah. If a random nigga hit up hand to tomorrow and see him on the road and be like, "Oh, it's gonna hand," be like, bro, who you is?
You don't know me like that, bro. Yeah, you don't know me like
that. You
don't
know me on no hand terms, bro.
For real.
First of all, he might swing because Nato is a different nigga down there.
Yeah, he's a change man for the worst. No, I know for the worst. I already played, but you know what I mean. Like for sure, like you might get on touching you because it's about familiarity, right? Don't be familiar with me. That's what the morning thing is like. Yeah. What you mean? You don't tell me morning. You know me.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. But speaking of familiarity, addressing any elderly person by their first name. That's the ultimate disrespect.
Listen to me.
100%.
Because first off, we in company. Where's the mom or the son? Where's the mister or the mistress? You calling Miss Lorna by Betty, or or just Lorna without the miss. You know what I mean? Like you don't know her like that.
But you just saying that making me mad. You just said Lorna is Betty. Like what?
Listen to me. One time I must see was being funny on Facebook, and I called my mommy by her nickname, like not even her real name, but like her nickname. And my mommy called me and said, "Take that down, because me and you take that down, because me and you ain't no company."
No, man, we not company, dog. Hey, yeah. Never mind. Like you used to live in my belly, and I am flesh of your flesh. We share the same
I
genetic
know
makeup.
I should at least be able to call you by your nickname. Eh? No, you don't know me like that.
Me and you ain't no company, and that's so profound, Red. Like people like to say like Bahamians ain't the smartest, but like when you think about it and break it down, like no, but that's deep, man. We ain't no company.
Yeah,
so
break it down for us. Take us deeper into that.
Let you know, baby, we ain't no company. Like we ain't in the same vicinity, we ain't in the same building. Like you over there, I over there. We don't operate the same.
You stay within these boundaries.
Exactly.
For real.
Don't think you close enough to even operate or say certain things to me. Because why? We ain't no company.
Exactly.
Like
being raised by a corporate structure.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But being raised by my grandparents was. I remember one time I was out with my cousins them, and my cousin called her old lady by her first name, and I had to look at her like, "Boy, who you talking to?" If I tried it in my grandmother house, but if I wasn't close enough to get grip, they was throwing something at me. I promise you. And then she called her old lady in public, bro. Ain't like they at home. In public by her first name. And I had to look at her like, boy, who you talking to?
Yeah, what you doing?
I was like, wow.
I used to be so weird. Like I had some dudes who used to live around with me, and I used to call them by their first name. And every time I used to be like, who you meaning?
Yeah.
I'm like, right. That's
for me. Your sister and yours.
You can't be talking about Miss Oddly.
No.
Yeah.
That's just wild.
Who's Clarice?
Once or twice we call a teacher by their first name, and never again. So, yeah, that's crazy. But that also made me think about. Obviously, we have a polite culture.
Where
and
then that come from?
I mean, we've colonialized, right?
Yeah.
Right? So everything is very much British. Morning. Even at morning. We did it in the morning, but it's like, I can imagine a British supervillain type morning. Right? So we obviously get a lot of ways of being from the British, but that polite culture, like someone will come in and like I hate hearing people say what. Like if you didn't hear what someone say, I'd be like, what? Oh man, I'd be like, yo, what I do?
Now imagine answering your parents like that.
I cannot. I can only imagine. Like that gospel song, I can only imagine.
Or any adult, doesn't matter. What you say? No,
what?
No. It's pardon me,
bro. To this day, as an adult, when someone mishears me and they say what, I have to reset, bro. I have to like, I mean, if I don't hear you, I say sorry. Say it again. I didn't get that.
Right.
I would never.
Excuse me.
What?
I know.
You little Johnny.
No, it depends on who. It depends on who though, because what I started to get. I guess I get disrespectful in my old age.
Disrespectful. You
sure did.
You fresh.
You sure did.
That's another thing. Like you, why you so
You're
fresh?
Being fresh.
Yeah, you being fresh.
First of all, I don't understand fresh. One of the OGs help me out because it's fresh. Fresh have positive connotations, but then it also have connotations of like not being seasoned. I don't know what you mean when you say fresh. What you mean really? Like I mean, I get the sentiment.
It depends on the context it's used.
Yeah, we got someone got to leave that in the comments. Like what that means. Like you fresh.
Yeah, good. So, Dr. Nicolette, what they mean when they say you fresh? Like, what's the origin of that? Because I never understood that. You know what I mean? Also, there's just one another form of disrespect from like a parental thing is like not wanting something, like having your own identity and personality too early is like, but you won't get slapped about it. Like, for instance, let's say you don't like grits. And you'd be like, oh, we having grits again. I don't like grits. It's like, bro, you don't even. My mommy used to say, sorry, mommy, but you like this. But my mommy, sometimes I'll be like, oh, my back hurt. And, yeah, but you don't know back?
First off, that's a gristle. I know back.
So they know what I mean, right? Yeah, you don't even have a back yet. So it's like a level before you even can have like feelings or taste or like.
You gotta work together.
What you mean you don't eat fish, bro?
But I don't think that's
how the hell you Episcopalian? I mean,
I don't think that's specific to Bahamian culture. I think that's a black culture thing because it's disrespectful to turn down food. Period.
True.
Period.
Yeah.
Which best take it and not eat it, but
I have some nieces who half American, and they used to be like super picky eaters. And I don't like this sauce on my thing, and I just look at it. It's cool. That's what we do. Like y'all get like asked to hold the mayo on stuff, and then because for me it was, man, I didn't know what is a have it your way as a kid, bro. Like I was getting my mom didn't know if I like pickles or don't like pickles, like because it don't matter. It don't really matter.
It really didn't.
I might be allergic to that whole. It was like if you're allergic, we find out today.
He wasn't old enough to have no preference.
Exactly.
I remember being taught adding hot sauce to a meal was disrespect. And I'm like, wait, what if I just like my food spicy? This ain't got nothing to do with your dish. I like hot sauce.
I definitely internalize.
Like when I put some ketchup on something, and people is there like,
right.
To this day, I'm conscious of that too. Like even like this need a little salt was like, I don't want to say I'm disrespectful.
You got to grin and bear it, my guy.
She little unseasoned there. You know. But yeah, like that's even like those little things. Disrespect is very subtle, right?
We are definitely more opinionated as a culture now versus a few years back, because you can imagine now somebody offer you a dish and they ask you, let's just say this is the first time you're eating from this person, they ask you how the food was, man, and your honest answer is, nah, you should stay out the kitchen. Versus, it was all right. You know what I mean? Like, you can't even be honest no more without someone taking offense. That's considered disrespect.
Go back to my point for sure. You can't really be truthful to the point of making someone else uncomfortable. Like, that's disrespectful. Because why you say that at the Grammy?
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
Why the Grammy don't be racist towards them Haitian in front of everybody like that, right?
Right.
Why you tell her that? Like, because that's disrespectful. Yeah,
bro. I feel like as the culture progresses and as the people grow, as we get more educated and more open with the world, we start to see ourselves in a brighter light. So it ain't just okay, we was doing this because we've been doing this, you know. Now, some recipes we should keep, but other times we learn, okay, hey, xenophobia. Like, I didn't even know that was in an instrument until I get a certain age. So it's like you learn.
That niggas is just playing the xenophobe.
I thought like you play the xenophobia when you do the little thing over snot and you make the sound. But you don't learn until you don't grow until you learn, until you understand the age. Even as simple as hitting children for speaking their minds to a certain point, we know that's rooted in like that have slave undertones or what's not, or like just back in the day, like letting children have a voice or being in certain rooms and being present and expressing themselves. Like before, like, hey, you have a choice? No, you don't have a choice. We don't respect you enough to give you a choice. And now, like, as we grow, if they're like, hey, respect isn't something that you get to a certain age where it's that, like, no, now respect comes with life and things like that.
With just being a person. Yeah, just existing.
That's it. So but like as we grow, I keep going on.
Yeah, I'm glad you're touching that, because that reminded me, like for me personally, growing up as a kid, you know, it was my disrespectful to be opinionated or have any kind of say in regards to, you know, any instructions that I was given from an adult. So I kind of took that on into my adult life and into my parent life. And I remember one time I was talking to my daughter, and I was trying to reprimand her about something, you know, telling her to not do this, not to do this. And while I'm trying to explain to her why not to do this, she was trying to express why she was doing it, right? So I got upset because I'm like, wait, you talking back to me, right? While I try and explain to you, like, bro, shut up, listen to me. This is why you shouldn't do it. This child literally sit down, listen after I explain, hey, shut up, you know, chill out, hear me out. And as soon as I was done explaining to her why you shouldn't do this, she come right back with, I do this because, like, it's like she blocked out everything I was instructing her to do, and just to get a point across. It was like, all right, daddy, I may or may not have heard you, but hear me. This is why. Yeah. I could not have imagined doing that being her age.
Yeah, for sure. And then you gotta reconcile with that. Sometimes you have to reconcile with that. Like I say, like my nieces be doing stuff and they'll be like, bro, I got my head punched off my body. But it wasn't necessarily a good thing that I would get my head punched off my body, right? So you finding yourself sort of figuring out a reconciling, like, okay, there's another way. And yeah, like sort of doing like reparative work through things like that, through like choosing a different way. But yeah, that made me think about like another form of disrespect is also like, don't discipline my child. But that's a more modern thing, right? Like, or don't tell me how to parent, right? Like that's a more modern thing, because obviously back in the day, you used to get a 2-for-1 gumbo and I cut it like you cut him going stages like flip it. I gotta go see Uncle cutting my hip now. Then I gotta hey, you gotta move your schedule around for the cut ups you're going to get today, especially depending on what you did. For real. But now it's like, you know, don't tell me how to parent. Don't. And I can be real. Like if you hit my child, like, I probably slide on you. Like you can't really hit my kid. This it in 1947. You can't hit my kid like that. And then like. Yeah, that's a whole different conversation. But yeah, obviously we're very territorial and we very much like when it comes to our kids, when it comes to our family, don't disrespect us. You know, you can't disrespect us, which go back to the whole thing we started with, was like your mom. Like, because your mom don't care. Your mommy don't care if someone say your mom, right?
No.
But that's my mommy, but what are you talking about? Yeah, right. And then also bring me to my last point, which is you can't disrespect where we from.
Oh, for
like
sure.
That's
no.
I mean, we could think we could hate our own country, but you can't hate our country.
No. Yeah. A lot of people get smoked for that. Ox blocked
many have died.
Ox beam into it. A lot of foreigners got smoked. Y'all ain't want none of that. Y'all ain't want none of that. Y'all leave that alone.
And then I remember one time someone said something with the Bahamas and it was right. But just because of the fact that, like, you can't say that.
No,
exactly.
Exactly.
Like, you can't say that.
Like, we sitting in a circle, like, yeah, man, we need to really change these laws. And by these, you know, these politicians don't care. But you chiming in, yeah, man, these politics, like, no, not you. Not
you. That's another thing. That's another thing that's disrespectful. I mean, I learned at a very early age, there are conversations that you just do not have.
Sit it out. Yeah.
In open forums.
Yeah.
Politics, religion, junkanoo. You don't have those unless you want to smoke. Because they could become very disrespectful very quick. Very quick.
Yeah. unless you're in a safe space. And when I say safe space, I mean you will cuss with the people who are
right.
Yeah,
You willing to drop a couple of CYCs in this conversation,
and y'all can still see each other tomorrow, right? Like
right.
you know who you're around and stuff like that. But yeah, there's definitely some touchy subject.
Another cultural thing that we do that gets very disrespectful. Dominoes. A good game of dominoes will get disrespectful.
Yeah, but that's a different type of disrespect. Yeah.
Right.
I don't know what the spirit is in the 666, but that is actually something. Not even my body to be talking to people like that, but it has come out.
For sure.
That's what it, boy. Disrespect comes in many flavors, many forms.
Yeah, don't disrespect. Try not to disrespect each other, and follow these guys. All right, don't be talking to people, man, and stop the self-hate. All right, the Haitians are brothers and sisters. I can get into that on a different episode, but for the love of God, wake up, y'all. All right,
for sure.
That's just my little piece. I hate there are people beef with Haitians because it's so stupid. It's really, really stupid. And I think we gotta have a whole episode about why.
We could drop. This would be the perfect time to drop or tell them I say that.
Yeah,
stick it right. It
would be perfect. No, I already yet. When I do it, I won't come correct, right? Like I already yet. But yeah, I can put this with Google self-hate. That's what I would say. Google self-hate, and then hopefully that prime you up ready for that conversation. But anyway, so yeah, segueing on to it's time for the nominees again, y'all. I don't think we eliminated a place last time.
Y'all shut up, man.
Yes, we did.
I bet you Jay still ain't going to Grannies. I bet you Jay still ain't takes the count. Everything good, bro. You'll eliminate Grannies before you even takes the count, dog. What a sick.
At this point, I don't even know if Grannies real, bro. It might be a figment of your imagination, bro.
But stay where you at, boy. stay where you are.
All right, let's get it. Let's get into the nominees, or the remaining nominees now.
The remaining nominees. Before we do that, we want to express our condolences to Roddy Monka and his family. Obviously, we nominated him as a icon. He was still here with us, so he's a living legend. Unfortunately, now he's like one of the late greats. So just want to acknowledge him. Express our condolences from Culture Quest, and we're still in the running. Obviously, we gotta nominate. We're gonna go through these nominees, but just wanted to acknowledge him and say that regardless, he's a culture goat. So
yep,
for sure.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, definitely won't be another Rodney.
Yeah,
for sure.
Just down to his iconic moments and saying so what's not. It's a big figure to lose,
Yeah, definitely. He's the people's choice, so that just go to show what he meant to the culture. So yeah, so just like looking at the remaining nominees, I think we have Mother Pratt, we have Collage Entertainment, we have Miss Daisy, Clint Watson, Perry Christie, Leslie Miller, Audlin Bleaser, H. Bodie Jr., and Debbie Ferguson. So there's some heavy hitters. So I don't know who want to kick this off with Billy a case for
elimination normally.
Who should go home today?
Who going first? You want me to go first?
Yeah, you go ahead.
Go ahead, man.
See, my vote for this week's person to be eliminated, and it really, really pains my heart, really torn on my side to have to do this. But my vote for the person to be eliminated this week is Ortland H. Bodie. And no disrespect to Mr. Bodie, Mr. Ortland H. I think the H stand for Herman Hartman.
Boy, don't dare you.
But when stacked up against the other nominees, I just don't feel like his moments hit as much and hit as often as the other icons that we have. So no disrespect to Mr. Bodie, but that's my vote to be eliminated this week.
Well, you don't got no sense. You don't got no sense. You're gonna try to send home Odlin H. Bodie Jr.
No. He ain't trying, because I'm about to double down right now. As I said in the previous episode, and I stand 10 toes down. My next vote for elimination is Mr. Odlin. Please say to H. Bodie.
Why you spin the block on Odlin like that, bro?
What?
I don't know. And I ain't got no good reason.
Wait, before you go, mother freeze.
I being petty right now.
Mother freeze. No,
I ain't got no good reason.
Let me make my case for Odlin, all right? First of all,
but still against one. But I still against one. But
hold on, let me add. You might make a good case.
First of all, have we not learned? Have we not learned so much from Odlin H? We've learned so many little things. I mean, just the way he shows up. This man refuses to be called out of his name. Is that not a revelation to you? Do you not see the power in that? Don't call me OH, OB. Call me Odlin A. Bodie Jr. Right? He's empowered us to say, hey, call me by my name. And then he challenges us to look deeper than ourselves. He's given us iconic moments for years, not for a summer or two. He's given us iconic moments for years. You could turn that station on. I can't remember what station it is. But you could turn that station on and you could hear some expert opinions. And you could get some insight about what's going on in the country. And if you being crazy, if you're saying the wrong thing on this air, I can hang up the phone on you. Is that not a lesson to us to not tolerate foolishness? He's a cultural icon. He's showing up with expertise in his field for years, and honestly paved the way for our late greats, for the Rodney Monkers and stuff like that. So, I think we should really, really reconsider y'all. Look deep in y'all heart and ask yourself, am I gonna be able to sleep tonight letting Odlin H. Bodie Jr. go home? Think about that.
I would sleep like a baby, right? And on that note, hold
on, my bottle.
Hold on. One second, right, Honorable J. Johnson. In trying to plead Odlin H. Bodie Jr.'s case, I think you may have sunk in his ship. Because on the note of the one but your mom and disrespect, you ain't gonna hang up the phone on me, so, and expect me to still reach you. No. That's the
sound like you get hung up before. Right, it sound like you get hung up before, and that's a vendetta. But that's just how the court system try to run him through the ringer. They always coming for Odlin H, man.
I try to be objective, but from that man, tell me I look like EJ. I got no ratings for him.
But you don't understand. And once again, he asking you, "Who are you? Who are you? Who do you say you are? Do you say you EJ?
Hey,
was that you in that video?
Proof.
These are questions that need to be asked.
Proof. Do you stand on your vote?
My vote is solid. 10 toes down.
I stand on my vote. Here ends the discussion. Odlin H. Bodie Jr. eliminated.
This your boy? Y'all wrap the same.
That's it. That's a wrap.
That's it.
That's a wrap.
Both of y'all. I got something for y'all. All right. So even though your contributions were amazing, you definitely an iconic figure. They sending you home, Odlin H. You will not be the crown D icon, but you are certainly
done in media.
You don't know my respect. You're disrespectful. That you take the name of this show. You take the name of this episode.
It's all love, Mr. Bodie. It's all love.
The man can hang up the phone if you want to hang up. It's a show, man.
Yeah. Okay.
But anyway, all right. So let's move on to to places. Currently on the place list, we have the Fry Iconic. Bamboo. Iconic. Superwash. Iconic.
Iconic. Don't do that.
Glass window bridge. Iconic. Gibbons Bay. Iconic. So
look how Curry got off on this side.
Iconic. You know, but yeah, so these are some heavy hitters. I need y'all to really come.
Oh yeah, boy, I know.
I know.
Let me know for y'all. I can tell you now. I appreciate the service that was presented. The service and the offering that we get, right? But let me just cut it. Niggas have washing machines now, all right? So Super Wash, you do a lot of good things for us. You give us good commercials. Even though I personally hot take. I have a love-hate relationship with the commercials. They're giving mommy-ish a little bit. I've always felt like that. They're kind of giving a chitlin circuit. That's just me. Bro. I need to write commercials for a living, so what do I know? But it ain't that great.
But that's culture, bro.
Bro, I appreciate the acting and sort of like the whole backstory that go into it, and it's interesting radio, cool. But it always kind of give me a little like yes sir. Anyway, the point is I can wash my clothes home. I wish good success upon your business for many years, but Superwash gotta go. I gotta wash my clothes by my Grammy too. I mean, they wash your president. They did. I go by my Grammy and get all that. She tell me stories about Rodney. Nah, it might not have been 24/7, but I will also say I'm going in the Grove to wash no flicking clothes at 1:45 in the morning. Bro. But go ahead. That's my
first off. Why you gotta go in the Grove?
You know I'm located
all over the island, bro. Why you gotta go in the Grove?
So you know my life then. You supposed to have to go to the Grove. See, that's the same classism.
I can't stand behind you on that, but I can't stand behind you. I
want you stand behind me anyway. Don't stand behind me. You too close.
This might catch people by surprise, but I'm there in the list, and I gotta vote someplace. I vote in the Glass Window Bridge.
Actually, don't catch me by surprise because that was my elimination vote as well.
I gotta vote the Glass Window Bridge.
That was actually my elimination.
Hold on. Let me make sure.
Considering the options, bro.
Let me make sure. No, but I hear you. Let me make sure I understand. You want to take a natural wonder that God himself come down and touch. You know, there ain't too much places on the earth of this thing. And you want to pick a place that is Worcestershire president and the danger over it. I mean, people that travel, scientists come trying to figure out how this doing this. But you all would rather go and go give I'm gonna call him my name, old boy, your money to wash your clothes.
I mean, in all fairness and honesty, right? It ain't the glass window bridge that's doing it. God already do to separate the ocean's part. The bridge just happened to be there. If we stacked it up against the other nominees, the bridge gotta go.
Yeah, but
it's just a bridge.
It's just a bridge. Oh my goodness! Someone from Miluch. Come on, y'all. I gotta conjure up the ancestors for you. I gotta conjure up the ancestors.
Y'all don't go.
What does a bridge do?
Listen to me.
Don't.
What does a bridge do?
Hop on a boat.
What does a bridge do? I just asked. What does a bridge do?
I compared to the options.
I just want to ask what a bridge do. Entertain me for 2 seconds. Entertain me for a second, like Superwash. What does a bridge do?
Bro, I got that.
The bridges connect one side to the other. You telling me that y'all advocating for a place where you can wash your clothes by flicking hands? You can go in the other iron and iron your clothes yourself, right? You can make the glass window bridge tomorrow. Can either one of y'all niggas make a glass window bridge? Can y'all make that phenomenon happen?
That ain't the same thing, but you gotta understand. Superwash ain't just washing, pressing, and entertaining 24/7. But it's the memory is made there,
bro. That's a staple in Bahamian culture, bro.
Exactly. You know, people don't have Wi-Fi.
Hold on. Well, but check this out, right? Exactly. But check this out. I promise you ask anyone in the we in the Generation Alpha about the glass window bridge, or any advertisement about the glass window bridge in comparison to Super Wash, they can know washes your precious, your cleans you before they know anything but the glass window bridge. I promise you that.
That ain't a good thing.
The commercials in and of itself iconic, bro.
That ain't a good thing. That ain't a good thing. They don't know their geography. They don't know where they are.
That's fine.
We talking
about cultural icons, bro. Super Wash is definitely up on that list.
Over the glass window bridge. That's what
like we say. No disrespect. I actually trying to go back to Lutra. Like I love Lutra, but
let me tell you something.
Nominees.
You gotta never go back to Lutra now. That's forget about it.
Shout out to my Governors Arbor people.
No, not you. You can't shout out no Governors Arbor people no more.
I about to see y'all in a few days. Y'all.
What Kendrick say? I think that opening show gonna be your last stop. Go.
I mean,
let the heat die down, eh? Go before this one air.
That rock sound trip could be your last stop.
Oh man,
these dudes really pick a wash house over us.
Hold on, wait. See, you playing Super Wash down just a little bit too much, bro. It's not just a wash house, bro.
Comparatively,
it's not just a wash house, bro.
Don't try to
turn a natural wonder.
No, don't try to turn the audience against us by doing this little trickery that you're trying to do, son. Don't do that. It ain't just a wash house.
No, it's not just a no.
That's the community center. That's the community center right there.
Fox.
I don't guess she's about it, huh?
Anyway, proof. Do you stand on your vote?
I stand on my vote.
I, the Right Honorable Jay Johnson,
stand
on my vote.
That's retaliation for Granny's Kitchen, and I know it, and I'm never gonna live it down.
And he messing it up again. He means well, Granny, and it's Granny's goodies, my guy. Granny's goodies. Get it right, man. Come on, you can disrespect them like that. Get it right.
That's retaliation. You just see what you see what envy and bitterness in their heart will do. You'll make a wash up over a natural wonder. God, you'll make your clothes smelling nice and crisp over God creation. But anyway, y'all, that's just
it
ain't just the wash house, but because you got bamboo, you got Goodman's Bay, and you got the fry in there.
Exactly.
Come on.
Now next episode is when it can really
be
tough.
Interesting. Right. Yeah.
Next week is when it really get tough.
I am questioning all our friendships right now, so hopefully there's a next episode.
Don't take the fries.
Hold on. But check this out. The flip side to that is, but you pick bamboo over the friggin' bridge. Okay.
I have one question. We can wrap it up. You can eat a bridge? Can you eat a bridge, my nigga?
You choose not to eliminate bamboo. No, but you choose not to eliminate bamboo shack over the glass window original. Okay.
Exactly.
All right. Okay. I'm just saying.
I know one thing. You got to know entertainment. I know that much. I want entertainment. I go skip some rock. But anyway, that's this episode, y'all. Thanks for joining the Culture Quest. Make sure y'all keep it locked in. Follow us on the gram, on TikTok. Hopefully we have a Twitter soon, Jay. And keep a lookout for the show. Appreciate y'all. Link up.
Yes, sir. And moms.